Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, it's another vlog from the driveway. Oh my gosh. No, seriously though, how are you guys doing? You hanging in there? I'm hanging in there. How about a fountain pop? Do you like the sound of opening a can of pop? I do. I feel like the last couple days I've noticed like the smallest, it's so windy outside. I'm like looking over here at these, my neighbors have these like, I don't even know how to explain them, these like grasses that you would see in like on the beach in Michigan or Florida or something. They're like blowing crazy in the wind. I feel like I have noticed the smallest things over the last couple days. Oh, I just got that all over the... Good thing I have a cloth down here. Clean up as you go. I made videos on all my channels today except for my review video. I just like, by the time that I got done with all my videos, that was gonna be the last one that I was gonna do. And I was so tired, like all day today. I stayed up super late last night. I finished Zombieland and then I started Zombieland Double Tap. But I listened to some of my audiobook first last night because I'm trying to finish it. This next week, I'm gonna have to like listen to some books too. Well, I'm gonna read a graphic novel, so that will, I have like one graphic novel that I wanna read and then I'm reading something else. And then if I finish this audiobook, that'll be 21 and then I'll have 3 books till the end of March, so that will be 24 books, which will still be 8 books a month, and I'll still be on track for my year because I'm trying to read 8 books a month to hit my goal of about 100 books this year. Well, I want to hit 100 books this year. So I was just listening to the most random music. Well, I was just sitting here for a little bit listening to some music. It's just weird not getting in a car and driving around. And I think what's so weird is that I just get in a car and drive because I love to drive and just like listen to music or listen to audiobooks and stuff. And now that I'm not really doing it, it just is so weird. But anyway, so I was sitting here and I was listening to some music, and the first song that came on was a Beyonce XO. By the way, I don't know how long I'm gonna vlog. It's 2:10 already, and I'm really tired tonight. Even though I took a nap earlier, but it was Beyonce XO, and I love that song. But I was like, I remembered the last time that like I really was like listening to it, and I was like listening to it on repeat, and I was stuck in traffic on Lakeshore Drive coming into Chicago, and I was like, when was the last time that I was in Chicago? And I know I like vlogged Chicago the last time I went in, so it would have been when I started YouTube, but I think that I was just doing booktube at that point. And Alex had to go up for a work conference thing, and so he went up there like a day or 2 before, and then I went up there and I met him, and because I was supposed to do this, like, I was supposed to meet up with this other booktuber that never ended up happening. And I ended up going to this bookstore in Chicago. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like so fantastic. I remember it was like this huge bookstore and everybody told me to go to it. And like when I walked in, it was like just this little area. And I thought, this is the bookstore that everybody keeps on telling me about. And so I kept on like walking around and I was like, this can't be it. And I just remembered something that's so weird, but I'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so I was like walking around. I actually bought quite a few books. I walked to this bookstore too. And I remember it being a longer walk than I thought it was going to be, like when I you know, put it on my maps. And then, so I remember, like, I saw in the corner there was, like, the staircase going down, and it said more books downstairs. And I went downstairs, and it was like, I went down the stairs, and it was like this huge room full of books. It was like this huge bookstore. And I was like, oh my God, this is the bookstore. I don't remember what that bookstore was called in Chicago. I should look it up and see what it was called. But, what I just remembered was that I bought this Mira Grant book there that was called, so Mira Grant has written these books about like contagious viruses and stuff like that. So I thought that was really like interesting, you know. I'll tell you the book that I bought by her first of all. I still have it. Feed is what it's called. Oh, does she write underneath a pseudonym? Shannon McGuire. Pen name, Mira Grant. Oh, she does. She writes under a pen name. Okay, Chicago bookstores. Chicago. When I was a little kid, I couldn't spell Chicago, so I would spell it chic-ago. Would always remember that. Chicago bookstore. And it just, I just did the same thing in my head. Okay, Chicago bookstores downtown. Sandemeyer's, no. I think it was Afterwards bookstores. Yeah, that looks like it. Afterwards bookstores, I think. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's what it was. It was a really cool bookstore. Was that what it was? I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. Hold on. Volumes. Unabridged. I'm looking through all these bookstores. No, I think that's what it was. It was very cool. Afterwards, yeah, I think that's what it was. Well, you know what? I did a vlog of it while I was there. So we could probably just look that up on Peter likes books Afterwards bookstore. Let's see if it even pulls it up. Bookstore book tag, no. Books a Million tour. Interesting. Anyway, it was a really cool bookstore. And I bought a couple books on it. I bought a couple books on it. A couple books while I was there. I bought an autobiography of Patti Smith, Patti Smith, I think. Like, it was like I actually ended up getting this book on Audible because it was on sale too. So, but I was thinking about that trip today because we had such a good time. And I remember, so the other person that Alex worked for at the time was also Venezuelan and a really good friend of the family. And so we went to this like Latino restaurant that night. I think it was called like the National or something. And they had, it was like, do you remember the I Love Lucy show? How it was like, you know, they had the seats that were like in a half circle and it like went up. It was kind of like that. And then when the restaurant closed and there was like this red carpet out front and stuff, it was very cool. And they had, it was like all tapas. And then they had, like empanadas and things like that and street corn. And then like when the restaurant closed, because we got there late, we ate late, it turned into like a salsa night. It was really cool. I mean, that was such a fun trip. But anyway, who is texting me? Oh my God. So what else? Oh, so the whole time that I was like stuck in traffic driving up there, I was listening to XO by Beyonce. But for some reason I was thinking about that when I was like listening to that. And then Both Sides Now came on, the Judy Collins version, the live Judy Collins version. Hold on just a second. The live, it's not my favorite version of it, but when I was growing up as a kid, I loved that song. And both my parents loved Judy Collins, but really more my mom than my dad. And my mom would listen to like hours of Judy, and like I can remember her Judith album was like one of my favorite albums. It still is to this day. And Who Knows Where the Time Goes is one of my all-time favorite songs. It's also one of my favorite albums. And I love Judy Collins. She's probably one of my favorite artists of life. But I used to listen to that song a lot when I was a kid. And I can remember it thinking it was, it says something about ice cream castles in the sky. And I can remember thinking it was like this really like, I don't know, this kind of like very fairy tale song. And then as I got older and I started listening to the lyrics, and my mom also really liked the Joni Mitchell version. And I think the Joni Mitchell version is the original version. And I would listen to the lyrics. I was like, the lyrics are so sad in this song. It's really about getting older and understanding life and love. And then as you start becoming your own person, like people start saying you've changed, you know? And then people are confused by like, oh, you've changed as a person and I don't relate to you anymore. Which I always think is so interesting. Like I think about that a lot with my friends, and I'm like, who's changed more, me or you, you know? I think we should be accepting of our friends if they've changed, and they should be accepting of us if we've changed, you know? I feel like out of most of my friends, I think I've stayed the same a lot. I think I've become, if I've changed over the years, I think I've become more open to trying new things, where in the past, like my social anxiety would always keep me from wanting to try new things. I was always scared to do that. But I think that over the years, like that's been something definitely that my husband has really helped me with, because he's just such a like, I'm gonna do this, and then he goes and does it. I want some lip gloss. My lip gloss be popping. I think I've also, you know, I think it's interesting when you look at moments that are presented to you in life. I think another thing that way I've changed a lot is that I've definitely become more forgiving, and realized that people are people, and people screw up and make mistakes. And I think maybe I had to be cognizant of my own mistakes and wanting to change, to realize that other people really deserve the same chance. And I've definitely become more forgiving of people, I think, over time. Whereas before I was like, very much like, you know, hurt me once, shame on you, hurt me twice, shame on me kind of attitude. I'm not like that anymore. I'm a believer in giving people many chances. It's so weird that just like those things just stopped moving in the wind. Like the wind must have just got really still. And I think the way that happened years ago actually, but I think it's become clearer to me in the last couple years. You know, when I don't know, because I don't know how many of you guys know the story, but I was like bullied ruthlessly growing up. But it changed, and it was interesting because like I'm reading this book right now called Ferris Beach. So like when I was in elementary school, it was like a set group of people, right? I mean, everybody was like kind of distant to me, but there was always a set group of bullies that made my life hell. And then when we went to junior high, and it was like all the elementary schools together, it was like it started all over again. And it was a new group of people, because there was a whole new group of people that were introduced to Peter, right? And like, you know, Peter's mannerisms and being effeminate and my voice and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just, it was like a whole new thing. And then when I went to high school and it was combining 2 junior highs together, it started all over again. And actually, the people that were the cruelest to me in high school were people that went to the other junior high. So I remember, like, elementary school was probably the worst because it was when I was the youngest, I was the most sensitive and whatever. By junior high, like, my 6th grade year was really good. I had a lot of friends, and it was like probably one of my best years ever. And then my 7th grade year, I was completely all alone. My 7th and 8th grade year, and then my 9th grade year was when I kind of started, I had a few people. And then high school, I had friends, but I didn't really start doing stuff with them until my junior year. But life was really, really tough. Like, it was just every day. And I was afraid, like, for my life and stuff. I mean, I've talked about it on here. Some, like, really horrible stuff happened. And, but the main guy that bullied me, I have to say, it's like, okay, so it's interesting because his friends were definitely more ruthless to me and how they did things to me. One in particular. But I don't even know that he was aware of that, if that makes sense. Like, he was just kind of the ringleader, and he was the court jester, and he, like, made everybody laugh and blah, 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 whatever. And I was just a really easy target. So he would do stuff like he would come up to me in the lunchroom and, like, with all of his posse around him, and he would say things like he would talk to me in, like, a lisp, and he would say, you know, like, I'm gay too, and I really want to go on a date with you, and I would be like, I'm not gay. I wouldn't say, and the other thing was, like, that would be the limit of what I would say. I wouldn't really say anything, and my girlfriends that were around me were tough as nails. Like, they would say stuff, like, they would defend me, which, you know, I am so thankful for them, but in retrospect, it made things 100 times worse. Instead of standing up for myself. So, and what was always interesting, too, to me, was that, like, my friends and I was definitely more of a drinker at that time, but my friends and I were very much in, like, the druggy crowd, right? So, like, we would go and we would see these people who had no problem on the weekends. Like, if we would run into them, like, not necessarily my bullies, but, like, the people that were friends with them and stuff like that, we would see them on the weekends, like, at the bowling alley or just, like, out randomly at places, right? And they would be so cool to me. But come Monday morning, it was, like, very much that Breakfast Club kind of thing, you know? But come Monday morning, they were complete, you know, asses to me. They were just really cruel. And, like, it was like they didn't have any problems, like, partying with all of us, but, like, on the weekends. But come school day on Monday, it was like save face, you know? So anyway, he would do stuff that was just, like, not nice. And then his friends would be the ones, because he was short and small and whatever. And his friends would be the ones that, like after he walked away, they'd be, like, following him, that would, like, slam me into the locker, you know? Or, like, write stuff on my locker. I can't tell you how many times I had stuff written on my locker, you know? Like, horrible stuff. On my car. Horrible stuff on my car. Yeah, I was afraid a lot. And, because I didn't know what was going to happen next. Well, flash forward, when I got Facebook, there was, like, this thing at the time. Do you remember when people would do those notes and they would tag people on it on Facebook? It's so hot in this car. Somebody tagged me, and it was, like, a note, and it was, like, 10 things people didn't know about me when I was in high school and things like that. And so I wrote this note and I posted it on my Facebook page, and he and I were friends at the time. Like, he had reached out and he hadn't reached out. He had, like, friend requested me on Facebook, because I was like, I mean, it had been so much time, you know what I mean? And so, like, everybody from high school is, like, friend requesting each other and whatever. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't even care. Just, like, see my stuff if you want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I felt about it. And so we were friends, and on Facebook, not like we had never talked since high school. Like, I'd never talked to him since, like, any of this went down. And, so I did this, and I wasn't even thinking about him when I did it. I wrote this note, and it was, like, 10 things that people didn't know about me in high school, and, you know, and most of them were good things, like, just, I don't know, like, I always wanted to be, like, a fashion designer, but only my closest friends knew, stuff like that, right? But the last one was, every day that I went to high school, I was afraid for my life because I was bullied so hard. And my biggest fear was that when I walked across the stage I didn't even want to go to graduation, because when I walked across the stage at graduation, I was afraid that someone would yell the F word, and then my mother would have to hear it, and she would know what I had been living through for the last 3 years, because I had never gone home and told my parents. Like, I had never said, you know, like, Mom, this is what's going on with me, and blah, 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 blah. In fact, she didn't even really know until years later. It was like I was in, like, my mid-20s, or, like, I was 30 or something when I talked to her about it. And my mom looked at me, and she said, who did that to you? Who called you those names and treated you that way? And my mom never knew the extent. She never knew how bad it really was. And I said, oh, Mom, it doesn't matter. And she goes, no, you grew up with those kids. You went to school for 12 years. So my parents, like, it was very, very important to them that I stayed in the same school system for 12 years. Like, they made sacrifices just so that I could do that, because they thought it was important for me to go to the same school with the same kids for 12 years to have consistency. So for my mom to hear that, like, it was really hard for her. And she said, you tell me who they are, and I'm gonna call their parents and let them know what their children were like. I was like, Mom, seriously? Like, okay, time has gone on. And what was interesting was, when I went to my reunion, my 20-year reunion, I went with Alex, and I went with one of my really good friends from high school. And I think she's changed a lot since then, but at the time she was still very bitter and angry about what I had gone through. But these people hadn't been nice to her either. And it was interesting because she was kind of one of my friends that floated between, like, us and the popular group. Like, she could kind of go back and forth. So she didn't really suffer. Like, the rest of us were straight up freaks. Like, we got, like, harassed on a daily basis, but she could kind of float around from all of it. And so she didn't really suffer as much as the rest of it. And I can remember, like, I was talking to people at at reunion, and she would come up to me and be like, why are you talking to them? They were so nasty to you in high school. And I'm like, girl, like, seriously, it's been 20 years. Like, let it go. Like, people change. Like, it's been 20 years. I don't want to hold on to that anger and that resentment anymore. It's not worth it to me, you know? And every time I talk about this on here, what's really interesting to me is I'll get at least one comment from somebody that will say, I appreciate the fact that you have let that go, but I was bullied similarly, and I will never let it go. And you know what I always think about that? I always think it's so sad for that person, because you're the one that suffers. If I was still holding on to that anger, I'm the one that suffers, not my bully. They're out there living their life. They're out there living their best life. They don't know that I'm sitting there hanging on to that every day. No, I don't want that kind of anger and resentment in my life. It just doesn't do me any good. You know, in recovery we say resentment is the number one offender. And it's also something that will lead me back to drinking and negative feelings about myself, and I don't want to feel that way. My reunion was actually, like, a really good thing. So, but anyway, so I put this note on Facebook, and, like, 2 days later, I got this message from him. He had, like, he reached out to me, and, by the way, I want to see what time I'm at, because it's so weird. This is my old camera, but on my new camera, I've been filming on it during the day, and yeah, the quality is no different, first of all, which really pisses me off. But I should have just bought the same camera and saved $100 or $200 or whatever it was. But anyway, and my Keurig Elite that I went like crazy about having to have this ice thing on it. Like, I used it today for the first time. I've used it, but I haven't made an iced coffee on it. Today was the first day. And can somebody explain to me, like, I put this on Twitter and I was so embarrassed. Can somebody explain to me what is so different about that ice? It's a button and it says iced on it, and you hit it instead of the regular coffee. It still melted my ice. I mean, it was delicious. It really was. But I put, like, probably like 1/8 of a cup. Oh, it's gonna stop, hold on. First of all, what I was gonna say about my camera was that my new camera doesn't beep, like, at the end, like when it stops and starts, so I never know, like, if it's still going or not, and so I'm, like, looking up. And the timer for this camera is over here, and the timer for my new camera is over here, so I'm, like, not used to it either. But, so that was what I was gonna say about the camera. But, like, so I made this coffee, and I did, like, I put a, what do I have at home? It's the yellow one. I don't know what that is. It's the yellow sweetener. I don't know what that is. I bought a bunch of sweetener the other day when I was at the grocery store, because I was like, I can't run out of sweetener if I'm at home. I heard that Starbucks is going to close, but I mean, I didn't even leave the house today, so it's not going to really matter for me. But what was I going to say? Okay, so I made this coffee, and I had bought this Starbucks coffee creamer. First of all, that Starbucks coffee creamer is fantastic. And I bought the cinnamon. I think I wanted the toffee one, and they didn't have it. So I bought the cinnamon one. That was the one that I had when I was in Arizona, and I love it. Which Mel told me, she texted me, and she was like, I love that coffee creamer. You got me hooked on it. I've been using it because I gave her all the stuff when I left that I was like, here, just take it, because I'm not going to need this stuff, you know? So, even the pizza rolls and the pizza, which I was bitter about, and I wish I had those pizza rolls right now. We do have pizza rolls, but I had to buy the boxes of like 10 or 15, I think it's 15 in a box, because I didn't have the bags of pizza rolls. Anyway, so I don't understand what the iced button is on the Keurig. I should have just bought a regular Keurig. It's basically the same exact thing. And it didn't even fill it up to the top. It said like it would figure out how much it should put in there. I was not happy about it. But anyway, it was a delicious iced coffee, I will say that. I put like one of those sweeteners, and I put like 1/8 of a cup of that creamer in there. And then I put the cup on it, like I put ice in there, and then the coffee mixed in there, and I mixed it up, and it was great. It was really, really good. It was very much like a cinnamon dolce iced latte, but I didn't need to have the iced button on there. Now I wish I would have got a coffee ninja, because they were basically the same price. So anyway, except for that, I can't use the pods in the coffee ninja, but I need to buy one of those things anyway, for one of those disposable or reusable pods, so I can just put coffee in there. Okay, so he reached out to me like 2 days after that and sent me a message on Facebook. You know what I wonder? Oh my God, this would be so funny. I've never done this before. I wonder if my very first message from him is on here. Should I look and see? Of what he said to me like the very first time. October 28th, 2008. Wait, Alex and I have been together yet? Yeah. This is so funny, because at one point I say, I can't see the first notes in here. But he said, I said something about, were you serious about that comment? And he said, God, no, it was funny as hell. You are my new best friend. And I said, huh, new best friend? Well, there's a lot that goes along with that job description, LOL. And then I said, I saw this person at the gym, and we were talking about you. I said, he said he saw you at the reunion. That would have been the 15-year reunion. And I said, I told him that we joke with each other on here, the most unlikely pair since we didn't get along in high school at all. And he said, I'm glad that we're friends. I just needed to grow up, and I feel bad about everything that I did. And he said, you are a good guy. Have a great day, brother. But, like, there was a point, I can't see it on here, I don't know why, where he was like, could we sit down and talk? So we went and got coffee, and that's so funny that I have his messages all the way back. So we sat down and had coffee, and he basically took complete ownership over everything that had happened, and how he treated me, and talked to me about his kids and his family and his wife, and that he had said to his wife, like, how embarrassed and ashamed he was of who he had been, and if anybody treated his kids like that today, like, he would really have an issue with it. And as a parent, like, he saw the other side of it. And, you know, it was just real. And he looked at me, and I can remember he looked at me with, like, I mean, this grown man with tears in his eyes, and he was like, can you ever forgive me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, you know, like, I don't hold that against you anymore. And the thing is that I don't even know who I would be had I not gone through it. I'm not saying that I'm glad that I went through it. I wish I had never had to go through it, you know? It kept me from participating in things, but I can't blame that on somebody else. I know there's people that are bullied that fully participate in things. You know, I think that we're multifaceted in how, like, who we become as people is made up of many different experiences of our lives. But I think that through love and kindness and compassion and understanding, we can forgive people for things, you know, and there were days I never wanted to go back to high school again because of him, you know. He rented space in my head for free like nobody else ever. And I really had a hard time with him, you know. And so I look at that and I think that through time, I think time is important too. You know, I don't think that I could have, like, I don't think had he reached out to me the year after I got out of high school, I would have felt the same way. Especially because I got out of high school and I spread my wings. And so if you had seen me, like, the day I graduated versus a year later, you would have seen a completely different Peter Monn. Like, a year later, I would have been like, F you. And don't ever talk to me again, or I will beat your ass. You know what I mean? Like, that's who I was a year later. I was very confident. You know, I'd been going out to the scene, to the gay bars, and, like, I was in the popular crowd in the gay bars. You know what I mean? I was like, screw you. You know what I mean? Like, now I am somebody. That's how I felt. Like, I was somebody, you know? And for the first time, I was being noticed positively. And, but, you know, I don't think that he deserves to live with that on his shoulders, especially once he's asked for forgiveness. But each person has to make their own decisions. And, you know, that just applies to my situation. I know that there are situations, I'm not saying that across the board. I know that there are situations out there that are 100 times worse, you know, that are very serious situations. Not that it wasn't, you know, like, sometimes, like, I'll be talking to somebody and they'll say, you really minimize what you went through. And I'm like, I do and I don't. I just don't feel the impact of it on me today because I've kind of forgiven. Like, he's not the only one. Several people have come to me and been like, I really, like, at my reunion, tons of people came to me and were like, I know I treated you horribly in high school. I'd also written a blog post. So I was really, like, blogging on more of, like on a national level at that point. And so I had written a blog post about bullying, and a lot of those people had seen it because I posted it on Facebook, and I think that they, like, personalized it a lot. Like, oh my God, I was mean to him one time. Because I had so many people at my reunion come up to me and be like, I'm so sorry, and, like, some of these people, I looked at them and I was like, who are you? Like, I don't know who you are, you know? But people were so nice to me, and, I mean, like, really nice. And, I don't know. I just don't want to hold on to that anger. I don't want to hold on to any anger, you know? It's just not worth it. So, we move on, you know? We do the best that we can. I think, you know, like my friend said to me, when my mom passed away, and people were like, you need to move on, you need to move on. And she said to me, no, we never move on, because her son had passed away. She said, we never move on, we move through, but we carry remnants of those experiences and those people with us forever. And I've always thought about that, you know, and applied it to other areas of my life. It was interesting because Zach from The Adventures of Zach and B, the guy that's married to Alistair, who I'm watching, like, all of Alistair's booktube videos, and they're just the neatest couple, but he's always been so nice to me. And he, like, when his dog passed away, so The Adventures of Zach and B was his dog, and I think Bronson was his name. And he passed away probably like a year and a half ago, and it, like, killed him. Like, he just was, like, tortured, right? Not the dog. Zach was, like, inside. He just was, like, so just, like, he didn't even know how to move on from it because he was so in love with his dog, right? He loved his dog so much. And his dog was just real sick at the end. And so he, like, did a great video about it on YouTube and stuff. It was called, like, Bronson's Last Drive, I think. And it was him driving him from where he's living to, like, his home that he grew up in. I think he's from Alabama. And it was so sad. It was such a sad video. Those last dog videos, like the other day I watched that Chow Poncho, it just devastated me. But anyway, I said in a video about, around that time, I was talking about, it was a vlog, and I was talking about, something like somebody passing away or whatever. I was talking about grief, and I shared that story. And he really liked that, and he reached out to me, you know, and that wasn't mine. Somebody had said that to me. Well, I just borrowed it and passed it on. So tonight, I noticed tonight that he reached out to me. I really, truly don't check my messages, you guys. Like, on Instagram, he had, like, messaged me, like, on Tuesday, and he had said he is making, like, a playlist up for his channel, of like videos that he suggests, and he wanted to know if I knew which vlog that was. I was like, no, I don't know. I think it's a Peterisms. I have it on a Peterisms video too, so I'll find out. But I have no idea. I should ask my haters. They know exactly every detail of the canon of vlogs that I have put out. They have it noted and cataloged somewhere, I'm sure. Because you let me know what that video is. And if you put it in the comment section below, then we know you're a hater. No, I'm joking. But yes, could you please let me know if somebody knows what that is? Anyway. So yeah, he and I are good friends today. And not Zach, my bully from high school. I don't even call him my bully from high school off of when I'm not explaining it like on a YouTube video, you know? And he's a very real person with very real emotions, and I remember when I talked to him at the time, he said, you know, you have no idea what I was going through at the time. And he goes, not that that makes any excuses, but I was going through a lot of stuff myself. And what I realized was that statement that we talk about where, like, you know, oh shoot, why can't I think of it now? The pain one. Like hurt people. That's really a truer statement than I ever had thought before in my entire life. Like, it really, really is true that hurt people. And he was going through some really tough stuff, you know? Years ago, I shared this story on here too. I became friends with this guy that was like the guy in high school, okay? And he was actually always very, very nice to me in high school. We never really, I don't think we had that many classes together. I don't know, but like I knew who he was. He knew who I was. But we didn't like ever like mix in the same circles. We may have said like hi to each other like twice in high school or something, but I don't even know if that, right? Like, but we knew who each other was. And so we became friends, and I remember, so I actually ran into him at the casino. So anyway, but this was years ago, and I remember we were talking one time, and he said something to me about high school, and we didn't typically, like when I would see him, we didn't typically talk about that. But the thing is that our friendship, like I saw him one night standing in the casino, and we were like talking, and then after that, like we would like call each other and talk and stuff like that, and it just turned into this really like nice this nice thing, you know. And he was going through a breakup at the time, and he was asking me advice about his girlfriend, and you know, he just was a really great guy. So we talk, but we don't talk as much as we used to. And so he is a great guy. I didn't mean to say he was, like past tense, like something happened, but I remember standing there talking to him. Well, we must have seen each other more than once at the casino, because that would have been like the second time that I talked to him or something. But it was like, we had talked in between because we were comfortable with each other at that point. And he said something to me about high school. And I said, you have no idea like what high school was like for me. You have no idea what a living hell it was like. And he looked at me and he said, why do you think it was any different for me? And I said, well, you had it all. I said, like, everything was great. And he goes, do you have any idea the expectations that were set for me? He goes, do you know how hard it was to live up to those standards? Which, I mean, like, this is completely, like, it's apples to oranges, right? Let's just be for real. Like, being bullied towards expectations. But at the same stance, you know, it's like, I mean, he didn't know what my experience was going through that, you know, at that time, and we weren't talking about it, and nobody was asking me, and here he was, smile on his face, good-looking guy in high school, you know, that everybody thought he just had it together completely, and the reality was, and he looked at me and he goes, and I haven't shared this with anybody, like, you're like one of the first people I've ever talked to about it. He was like, I had such a hard time in high school, you know, who knew? Who knew? And the reality is, that somebody might be dying right in front of us and we don't even know it. And you know what? And we're too selfish to even ask because we think our problems are worse than everybody else's. And so I guess what I've learned over time, one of the greatest lessons I've learned, you know, and who I am today is to ask somebody where they're at. You know, what's going on with you today? You know, tell me. Because it's not all about me. You know what I mean? It's not all about me at all. We sure think it is, though, sometimes, don't we? And even though, like, I look at our experiences and I think, yeah, like, he still had it easier. Like, I still think that in my head, right? I'm like, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I really don't, you know? I mean, he shared some very personal stuff with me that I thought, damn, I couldn't have gone through that, you know? About expectations that were set for him, you know, like these really hardcore expectations. And then there's other people that I wasn't friends with back then that I've talked to about their, you know, high school experiences and whatever. And their high school experiences, like some people that I would have thought like had this really horrible high school experience had a great high school. They're like, no, nothing ever happened. I had a great time in high school and I had good friends. My family loved me. You know what I mean? Like, and I will say that, like, you know, I think a lot about, all the kids that are suffering out there completely alone that have no friends. I mean, I at least had girlfriends that like had my back, you know? And once I left school and I got home, my family loved me unconditionally and I knew that. So I was really blessed in that nature. So I don't know, there's people out there that have it 100 times worse. So anyway, what did you do today? Huh? What did you do today? Oh, we watched TV. What did I do today? Well, let me tell you something. First, I think it would be important for me to preface for how I usually spend my days. Well, not Saturdays, because Alex is usually home on Saturdays and Sundays unless he has meetings and stuff. But let me preface how I usually spend my Saturday, or my most days, how I do it, okay? So I sleep in, and I set an alarm, but the alarm is suggestive, okay? It's a suggestive alarm. And what that means is I might snooze it 50 times. And the way I snooze it is I say 5 more minutes, and I'll say it out loud, right? Because then the dogs go right back to where they're sitting, and they go back to sleep. It's real sweet. Boo and Tucker have been so cute through this whole thing. Tonight, Tucker he threw up, and you could just tell he didn't feel real well earlier in the day. And I called Tanya and I was like, Tanya, I'm like real worried, Tucker's sick, blah, 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 whatever. And she was like, how long ago did they get their shots? And I said, well, they got their shots, I don't know what day it was now, I don't remember. Monday, I think, or Monday or Tuesday. And I said, surely it's been long enough. She goes, oh no, it could be affecting him right now. She goes, I bet that's what it is. She was like, just don't feed him a whole lot or feed him some chicken and rice tomorrow and he should be better. She was like, but like just watch him closely for the next 24 hours. And then by tonight, he was completely fine. But those little guys are being so sweet right now. So I usually wake up, my alarm is suggestive, so we snooze it 5 or 10 times. And then I wake up and I'm like, that's how I wake up. I feel so blessed that I get to wake up that way. And then I walk in the bathroom and I brush my teeth and I wash my face. And then I put on like a t-shirt and shorts or hoodie and shorts and I walk downstairs and I let the dogs outside. And then I usually pour like a big glass of water. Or I'll like make my emergency thing because I've been doing that for like the last couple weeks. And sometimes I make a cup of coffee, but very rarely I don't because I'm going to Starbucks. And then I will sit down and do my meditations. And sometimes I like, if I haven't done my vlog the night before or anything, like I'll start that just so that can be going while I'm doing my meditations. And then I'll sit on the couch. If it's nice outside, I'll sit in the back and I'll read my meditations and I'll do my prayers and my affirmations and things. And the house is silent because there's nothing going on except for just me and the dogs. And then I will just get ready. And then I will, you know, like, once I'm done with all my meditations, I'll sit there and kind of, like, get myself together, and then I'll say, okay, or, like, you ready to, like, start your day? I say it consciously to myself every single day, and then I pick up my phone, and I start looking through things, right? Because then I'm prepared emotionally and mentally for the day ahead. And that's my day, how I start it, okay? So today, imagine, before the alarm even goes off. Now, my husband is going to bed at, like, 11:30 every night. Well, tonight he went to bed later because we watched RuPaul's Drag Race. But he's going to bed at like 11:30, 12, okay? Now, I'm sleeping until like 1 o'clock. He's sleeping till 1 o'clock. So he's getting like a lot more sleep than I am right now, okay? Because I'm going to bed at like 5 or 6 in the morning because I can't go to sleep. I can't sleep right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my screwed up schedule that I've had through the, I was gonna say my funky schedule that I've had through the years. I don't know what it is, okay? But I just cannot sleep to save my life. And like literally am not tired. And it's probably not the Diet Coke because I usually drink, you know, a coffee or a fountain pop or something in the evenings. But like, I'm finding myself not tired at all. Last night I had a cup of Sleepytime tea and I made it with honey and cream, like this coconut cream that I bought too. And I was sitting on the front porch and it was freezing. It's so cold outside. It's 30 degrees right now. And so I sat out there and I tried to drink this tea after I like got halfway through that movie last night. And I started getting real bored with that Zombieland double tap movie. And then I was like, okay, you just need to go upstairs. You need to force yourself to go to bed. And it was like 5:15 at that point. And I like laid there in bed and I tossed and I turned and I tossed and I turned and I tossed and I turned and I tossed and I turned. And it's like my sleep schedule is horrible. So I had set my alarm today and my alarm didn't even go off. I don't know. Actually, I got up earlier. I think it was like 12:30 or something. And I had set my alarm for 1 because I was like, I want to get like, you know, 7 hours of sleep or something like that. And I also feel like, what's the point in getting up early? Like, to do what? You know what I mean? So anyway, I wake up and I'm like, and I hear Alex and he's downstairs, right? And he's being real loud and he's like opening and closing the microwave and I can hear him making coffee and he's being like real loud and he's talking on the phone and he's got his AirPods in. And when he's got him in and he talks on the phone, he like talks like super loud because he can't like really hear himself. Do you know what I mean? And so then I'm like laying in bed and I'm like literally half asleep and he's like coming up the stairs and he goes, are you decent? And I go, I'm in bed. And he goes, okay, well everybody it's gonna stop, hold on. And so anyway, he goes, well, everybody wants to say hi to you. And he goes, we're on FaceTime. And I go, oh, okay. So he, first we FaceTimed with my in-laws, which was really sweet. My brother and sister-in-law and the kids. And that was really, really sweet. And then Alex got his mom on. And then it was all of us with his mom. And then we like laid there for like a half an hour. It was nice because we haven't seen him, you know? And nobody's getting together or anything. Like, so that was really sweet. That was really, really nice. And then I said, can you like turn it that way so I can go and get ready? So I went and started getting ready because I was like, I need a cup of coffee. And so then he like so then they called Fufu and Jessie, his girlfriend, and they like all of them FaceTime together for like another 45 minutes. Well, I made my cup of coffee and I sat outside and I tried to read my meditation books. And then I came inside and Alex goes, I'm gonna make lunch, do you want lunch? And I go, no, I don't usually eat lunch, I just got up. And he goes, I mean, we go to brunch on Sundays, but you know, like that might be the only meal that I eat that whole day. And he goes, okay, he goes, well, I'm gonna make like something that I would get if I went to pat a shoe. And I said, okay, babe, like, you know, do what you wanna do. And he goes, what are you gonna do? And I go, well, I need to make some videos in a little bit. Like I want to sit down and I've got to look through what I want to do for the day. And I said, but I said, do you mind if I make videos? And he was like, oh no, not at all. And I go, well, I'm going to kind of need some silence and stuff. I said, because like I needed to read my Peterisms video or my Peterisms meditations. And like, like it has to be kind of quiet when I do that. And I said, and then I want to, like, I'm starting to read, because I started today on my booktube channel, starting to read my book over there. And I said, so like, I want that to be kind of quiet while I do that. I said, my drama channel video, whatever, you know, my review video, if I get to it, I said, you can be loud in the background. I don't really care. Like, that's not going to matter. And he goes, okay, that's cool. Whatever. He goes, I'll just be upstairs watching TV or whatever, right? So then he becomes a master chef in the kitchen. This was so cute. This was so cute. And he made avocado toast with chicken. And he was like all excited. He was like, I'll have to make you some of this, like without chicken though. And I was like, okay. So then he sat there and he ate. And then he was like, okay, apparently Space nightclub in Miami was doing this like live yoga for an hour because, you know, like Ultra's not going on. Today would have been the second day of Ultra. So like a lot of these DJs are doing live sets and you can watch them online or listen to them online and stuff. And then this person did this like 1 hour like yoga session at Space, the nightclub. So he did it, and like I think his cousin was doing it, and a couple other people, like I think Jesse and Fufu did it. I didn't know about it till the last minute. I probably would have tried it and done it because it was like fun. But I will tell you that I went upstairs to like start getting ready for my videos while he was doing it, and as I like wanted to wash my face again, and I would like trimmed my beard. I can't believe my nose is not bothering me right now because I trimmed the hell out of my beard today and shaved down here and everything. And so when I went up there, he had started it and he was like 5 minutes into it and he came in the bathroom to get a towel and he goes, this is really hard. I'm out of shape. I said, well, yeah, yoga's really tough, you know? So anyway, but I'm very proud of him because he is trying to eat healthy and he's like working out, and I'm sitting here gaining weight by the minute because I'm eating chips, I'm eating dips, I'm being sedentary all day long. Like I need to get off my butt and I need to take a walk. Like that's my goal for tomorrow. Like I need to do that, right? So while he was filming while he was doing yoga, I started filming my videos, and then he finished yoga, and then I finished filming my videos. But then I started getting like really, really tired. I don't know what it was. It just was, you know, by that point it was like 6 or like 7, like when I finally got all that stuff up. And so he goes, what are you gonna do now? And I said, I don't know. At some point I ate a small bowl of macaroni and cheese that I had gotten at Costco a couple days ago because we had some left over. I ate the rest of it. We had just a little bit left, and I ate that. I'm feeling a little like stir crazy, in all honesty. Like I'm really kind of starting to struggle a lot. And so then he was watching, he started watching today Tales of the City, which I just mentioned on here the other day. I came downstairs and I go, what are you watching? He goes, oh, I'm on the 2nd episode of this. And I go, what, is that Tales of the City? He goes, yeah, how'd you know? And I said, oh, I was just talking about that the other day on my vlog. I said, have you seen the original? And he was like, no. I said, oh, there's like an original version that's supposed to be really good. I said, that's by a book by Armistead. It's a series of books by Armistead Maupin. But anyway, so he was watching that, and he was like real into it. And I said, I think I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. He said, okay. So I went upstairs and I was like on my phone for a little bit, and I put my phone down, and then I just like passed out. I was like dead to the world asleep. I was so tired. And I slept like 2 hours. I slept from like 8:30 to 10:30. And then I got up, and he was getting ready to start some show. I said, what are you going to do? And he was like, I'm going to watch this show. And I said, do you want to watch RuPaul's Drag Race? Because we haven't watched it yet. It was on last night. He said, yeah, let's do that. So we did that. And he got chips and salsa. And I made this Chef Boyardee pasta that was nasty because I wanted some of that canned pasta, you know, the other day. But like all they had left was this one that was called pasta and butter sauce. Don't get it. It's gross. It was the grossest thing, and I got 2 cans of it. So, but I ate that, and I had a croissant. And I'm just standing there like looking at our food, and I'm like, what should I eat now that's gonna go bad the quickest? And then the frozen stuff can obviously stay, and you know, in case we can't get things that we need. I literally right now have like 5 bags of chips and 5 jars of onion dip, because that's like my favorite thing right now. And that is Smelly Mel's fault, because if I had never come to Phoenix, I wouldn't have started that whole new, my craving for the onion dip. It's all Mel's fault. No, it's not Mel's fault at all. But like seriously, like I'm like so into that onion dip again. So I got up, we watched RuPaul's Drag Race. I sat there, I ate that. Then I ate a bunch of Girl Scout cookies. I have like the s'mores left, so I'm like eating those. And Alex's favorite were the trefoils, which I thought was really crazy. Really interesting. I always say interesting. But I thought it was crazy that was like his favorite. Like the plainest ones, the shortbread ones were his favorite. They kind of remind me of Lorna Doones. I haven't had a Lorna Doone in forever. I was looking on Amazon today at like, well, let me finish today. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Okay, so then after that, he let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Who? That's why I always say to Tanya when she goes, I have to go let the dogs out. So he let the dogs out, and then we went upstairs, and I lay with him in bed for a little bit. We were just kind of like standing there talking, and we were like holding hands in bed. It was so cute. It was so romantical. And we were just like laying there with the dogs and stuff, and we were just like talking, and then he was like starting to fall asleep, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go vlog, because you're falling asleep. And then I came out here and listened to some music, and now I'm vlogging. So yeah, that was my exciting day. I don't know what my day is gonna look like tomorrow. I need to take a walk. I need to get out of this house. Even just sitting in this car feels a little bit like an escape, in all honesty. So that was today, and we're getting along really well so far. It's crazy. I thought like a couple days ago, I thought we're gonna like start getting on each other's nerves. But we travel really well together. And it was only because Alex is like starting to be like, well, we're gonna clean this and we're gonna clean that, we're gonna clean this. I was like, whoa. Like, let's slow down, okay? I'm all for this cleaning, but like, can we do it a little bit at a time? Like, well, I'm having to sit here and watch on Twitter about people like playing Animal Crossing for 15 hours straight, and they've watched an entire series on, Netflix in one day. Like I don't want to be cleaning for 5 hours straight. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can clean for an hour or two a day. So he was like, yeah, that's totally fine. So, but we're getting along really well. We're actually, like, one of the nice things is, that often during the week, we don't eat dinner together because, like, he'll get home late or whatever, or he goes to dinner with somebody else, like one of his girlfriends or whatever, and we've been, like, sitting down and actually, like, coming up with, like, what we're going to do for dinner every night alone, although tonight we didn't. We sat down there together, and he ate, the salsa and stuff while I was eating the dips when we watched RuPaul. But like, we've been like today we were like, what do we want to make tomorrow? Alex is like, well, I have this French bread and it's going to go bad soon. And I said, okay, well, we could do like pasta tomorrow maybe. And he was like, yeah, we could do that tomorrow night because I've got some pasta and some pasta sauce. So yeah, I got on Amazon today because I had to order my aloe vera, my allergy medicine. And I was looking to see, like the things, like grocery wise, that I could order to have delivered, that I wouldn't have to like go to the store. Like, and I don't really know how DoorDash works. Is that like, that's a restaurant thing, isn't it? But I saw like I could get coffee creamer. There's a lot of things that like I use that I don't need to go out for. So that was nice. As long as Amazon stays open. I know that they're, talking about like stuff to do with Amazon. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to talk about that right now, but yeah. So anyway, what is this? I wanted to go in here and read some comments from people. I think every night I'll pick like just a few comments to read. Not tons, but just a few. And we'll see. You guys, I'm getting like a lot of new subscribers on this channel, so welcome to all of you guys out there. Welcome new people to the Wolf Pack. I really, really appreciate it. And I said this on my main video today, but like, more people are watching my vlog every day, and that video that was demonetized, it got remonetized like real quick. I like hit it for a review and like I like checked back like an hour later and it was like remonetized. So I don't know what that was about. But like, I'm like upwards of like 4,000 people are watching my vlog a day. 4,700, 4,800, 4,300, 4,400, 43, 43, 48, 41, and then yesterday's is at 23 because, or today's, because not many people have like caught up with it yet. But that is crazy to me, you guys. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. And more people are watching for longer. Like, the number is way up, and so that means like the majority of people out there are watching the whole vlog, which is crazy to me. And my numbers have been going up on this channel, like my subscriber count. So that is really, there was a long time where it was like, it would like go up 1, down 3, you know, up 2, down 1. And so that it just like stayed like this forever. My drama channel, I'm just like losing subscribers over there like crazy. Now they've sent everybody home, so I don't even know if I can get in contact with my manager. But he told me the last time we talked, he said, there is something wrong with your channel. They figured out what it was, where it's coming from, but they don't know the solution to fixing it yet. So they were gonna work on it and they were gonna have it by the end of that week. And it had something to do with like the page source. Something to do with page, I didn't really understand what he was talking about. But like coming from like if you came from like you searched my name versus like if you came to it like the first time or something, I don't really understand. But I'm getting a lot of messages from people saying that they're not even getting notifications from my videos. My videos are getting, they're not getting any views over on that drama channel right now. But I'm gonna still keep posting because I know that people need to be cheered up and stuff. So let's go in here and let's read a couple of these comments real quick. Okay. It says views are way up, or views are up. More subscribers than usual are interested in this video. Okay. I'm just gonna go through here and pick random comments, okay? Because some of these are really, really long. Tracy said, I can't sleep either. ... Sigh. That's exactly how I feel. Anne said, I'm trying to pick some people that I haven't read their comments before. I'm all for the long vlogs. I appreciate all of the realness. I listen to your vlogs to relax and get out of my mind. Listening to your current experience, especially through this tough time, opens my mind knowing what others are going through. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm in today I'm in like this really positive state of mind. Yesterday, I was real down and like the weather's no different today. The weather's still crappy outside. But yesterday I was just in such a dark space. I don't want to say that it's such a beauty guru thing to say. But I was not, I wouldn't say really, no, I wouldn't say a dark space. I just was down yesterday. I just was, I was struggling being hopeful yesterday. And, I was getting fearful. And today I woke up and I felt a little different. And really talking to my in-laws really, really helped today to see them coping and the kids dancing in the background, you know, and my mother-in-law doing great. And that really, really helped me today. So, you know, I joke about it being a different way that I woke up, but it was a really nice way to wake up too, you know. I don't know who this person is. I'm Sean. I've never seen you before, Sean, but thanks for watching. He put nice vid. Tracy said, dozing off to sleep at 1:30 a.m., listening to the vlog and almost jumping out of my skin when Peter bursts out laughing at the no thank you. Prayers and much love for all of us going through this quarantine. Prayers to you, Tracy. I want to clarify something in here. Somebody said that OCD is, I like said personality disorder last night. It's an anxiety disorder, not a personality disorder. But there is something called obsessive compulsive personality disorder, OCPD, and it's different from OCD, just to clarify that. They were correct when they made that comment on here. Rebecca said, I had a moment like that yesterday at the store, just broke down crying in my car from the stress of everything going on, missing my friends and the things we definitely take for granted. Yeah, I'm really, like, that's the hardest thing for me is, like, I feel like I'm somebody that preaches all the time to be grateful and whatever, you know? And it's like, I think what I really realized through all this is that yes, I practice gratitude. I practice gratitude on a regular basis, but still not enough, you know? Like, I really, 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 really realized, just how much I miss the little things in life, you know? It's all the little things that I miss. Was it Nina Garcia? I want to see. I think somebody put this thing up, and it's been going around, but I want to see if this is Nina Garcia that posted it. It is. Nina Garcia posted this thing from Laura Kelly Fanucci, and it says, when this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves of the store, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, the taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday. When this life itself, when this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, and we hope to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. I think that is so beautiful. I love that so much. Laura Kelly Fanucci posted that. Anyway. It seemed like it was going, like the vlog was going really fast, and all of a sudden it kind of seemed to slow down. I don't know. I think I'm actually going to get off here now and go inside and finish Zombieland Double Tap. And I will try to make tomorrow's a little bit longer. I know this is just over, probably just a little bit over an hour. But I'll try to make tomorrow's a little bit longer for you guys. So anyway, thank you for watching as always. I love you. I hope you're staying healthy and staying safe. If you've made it this far, please put a blue heart in the comment section below. If you leave a comment, your comment may be read in my video tomorrow. And what was I gonna say? Oh, please like this video. Please give this video a like. It really means a lot to me when you do that, and it really helps. And please make sure that you are still subscribed to this channel. And yeah, I love you guys. I hope you are having an amazing Sunday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something today that will make yourself proud in the future when you look back on today. Just do something nice today. I mean, that's something that will make us proud, right? Is if we did a nice thing today, just one small nice thing that we didn't have to do, something nice that we didn't have to do, you know, that we didn't expect a pat on the back for, and that we didn't tell anybody about, just, you know, one nice thing. And but do something fun today too, you know, really enjoy life today. And let's all be thankful for another day that we were given today. I will say that has not been missed on me. I've really been thinking about that every morning that I get up, you know, like thank God for another day today. And my health and my sobriety for today, thank you. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say to yourself, I love you. You are valuable. You are important. You matter. You are a good person. Good things are coming your way. Today is going to be an amazing day full of opportunity, happiness. Today you will be happy, joyous, and free. And you are a good husband, a good friend, a good person, a good brother-in-law, a good uncle, a good son. And today is going to be an amazing day. And 2020, believe it or not, is going to turn around and be a fantastic year full of opportunity and adventure and love and compassion and kindness. And most importantly, make sure that you let somebody else in your life know how much you mean to them today. Even if it's just a neighbor, just to say, hey, how are you? Do you need anything? It can be anybody, just somebody random, call them up, text them, let somebody know how much you're thinking of them today. And don't forget to practice random acts of kindness. I kind of talked about that earlier, but also remember the most important thing about practicing random acts of kindness is what? Don't tell anyone. I love you guys, and thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow live from the driveway. I love you. I'll see you then. Bye. Love ya. I felt like probably somebody out there needed to hear another bye. Love ya. See you tomorrow. I'm looking at ya. Bye. Love ya.